against Liberty. We'll start off with an opening statement from Coach Priore, and then I will open up questions for the student athletes and coach as well. To Coach's right is senior cornerback Almajid Hutchins. To his right, senior defensive lineman Roosevelt Kirk, and to his right, junior quarterback Kyle Essington. To Coach's left, senior running back Brock Jakalski, and to his left, junior running back Miguel Masonet. So, Coach, why don't you start off with an opening statement?
Well, we appreciate everybody being here. It's certainly an exciting time at Stony Brook, an exciting opportunity. I think when Jim, President Kenny, had the vision of scholarship football back 6 years ago, they wanted this to be what it would come to, and I think we have an opportunity to obviously compete for a conference championship by ourselves. So winning, we have a chance to reach the ultimate goal for our level of football, which is to get a NCAA playoff berth. So we're excited. There's been many good moments at Stony Brook over the course of its football career over 26, 27 years. This will be another moment, but for this team, it's the biggest game we've ever played.
Questions for Coach and the student athletes?
For Kyle, I guess, first of all, he's saying it's the biggest game you've ever played, definitely the biggest game in school history. What kind of pressure do you feel going into a game like this?
It is a big game for us, and there's a little bit of pressure, but I think we're just preparing like we are any other week. It's obviously a tough opponent, but we're going into it confident. We're working really hard this week, and I think we're definitely ready to take home this conference championship.
For the guys that played last year, you had this game last year. Didn't work out too well. What did you learn from that game, and how do you think that things would be different this time? Why would they be different this time around?
Well, last year Liberty was a very good team, and this year they're another very well team. And you can't take any team lightly at all. And I think we're going to be prepared for this game harder than we have in the past, so hopefully.
Did you learn from that game? I mean, they kind of, they scored like 50-something points, so I assume that you feel that you're much better than you were last time around?
Hopefully. Their quarterback's very good, and hopefully, we can stop their offensive game and we produce ours.
Roosevelt, Almajid, just to take off the quarterback, he's got the ability to use his legs just as well as his arms. How do you guys prepare for an attack like that?
We got to stay in coverage, not give up the big plays first, and just swarm to the ball. That's what we pride ourselves on doing on defense, swarming to the ball. And, if everybody do that, then I think we'll be in good shape.
I believe that with our experience at each position, our linebackers, defensive line, our DBs, that with our experience grows our skill. I believe that we're more sound as a defense now. I believe that our coaching advisor, Coach Priore, has been game planning very well for Liberty this week, so we should do a better job than we did last year.
Miguel, do you think there's a significant difference in playing a team like that at home?
Yeah, playing home definitely changes everything because we have our fans there, our family, and just the fans atmosphere makes us play harder to try to get the W.
Roosevelt, what do you remember about last year's game that went wrong? If you would go back to that, where did the breakdowns occur?
Well, last year our defense had an issue getting stops on third downs. If the defense can get a stop on third down, that's able to give our offense the ball back. Towards the beginning of the second half, Liberty came out scoring, and we weren't able to give our offense the ball enough in order for us to stay in the game. So I feel as if this year we're more prepared as a defense, we're more sound, as I said before, so we'll be able to stop the third downs and be able to put that ball back in the hands of our talented quarterback and running backs.
Can you, as a pass rush, really go after this quarterback, or the fact that he can run the ball? What kind of pressure does that put on you?
Well, for the past, I'll say since the beginning of the year, playing at UTEP, playing at Buffalo, even playing at Brown, we played against a few dual threat quarterbacks. I feel as if Coach Navizer, defensive coordinator, has prepared us throughout the year and even through training camp to be able to still keep the mentality of going after the quarterback, but also being able to keep our lanes and stay and execute the defense as well as possible. So I believe we can still get after the quarterback, even though he has the ability to run the ball.
The running game has pretty much been what you guys are relying on, and no one seems to be able to stop it. As far as going against Liberty this week, is maybe Coach against this, is the best defense against them keeping their offense off the field?
I mean, it's a philosophy of our program. So I mean, we're gonna try to control the football. This week will be no different. I think we take pride in winning the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Liberty will challenge us physically, will challenge us athletically. Very good tackling team on the defensive side of the ball. But I think it's interesting. And Danny Rocco said it in his press conference. He said, the interesting part about this offense is we're running the ball like the wishbone teams, but we can throw the ball like everybody else. And so, if you just take last week's game in the first quarter and a half, I mean, they shut down the run game by things they did, and we moved the ball through the air, created opportunities for ourselves that way, and then we were able to make adjustments. So I'm confident in this team's ability to win the game however we need to win the game.
For Amajid, when you look at their receivers, can you kind of go over what you see from Summers and Kelly? And I noticed Shaver has 18 yards per catch, even though he doesn't have that many catches.
When you talk about Summers, he's a very tall guy. And he's a very smooth receiver. You think guys, don't give him enough respect. He comes off the ball and, you think he's just relaxed and he catches the ball and then he breaks on you. So, they have athletic receivers. But good thing about this, we have athletic DBs. We got 3 defensive backs, cornerbacks that, I think can cover anybody. And, certainly it's a challenge, but, we're ready for it.
And when you look at the quarterback, what makes him the most dangerous for you at your position out there at cornerback? I mean, what are you watching for?
Well, at corner, he's so dangerous because the guys can run the ball, he can throw the ball. So the receivers, they act like they're cracking some plays, and he pull the ball out and throw it for 60 on you. So at cornerback, you just have to react. And, most important thing is just staying in coverage, letting our defensive line and our linebackers take care of him.
How is being able to compete for the conference championship over the past few years in a row, showing that you, as a team, have solidified your status within Division I as opposed to where you came from beforehand?
I just think the fact of the consistency of our program within the league. I think I was doing the statistics the other day. I believe we're 18-3 over the 3.5 years or 3 years, almost 4 years in the Big South Conference. I think that's an accurate statement. 18-4 maybe, but 18-4. 2 losses to Liberty, 1 to Charleston Southern in overtime, and 1 to Gardner-Webb in the last minute of the game. So I think we've, solidified our place in the Big South from a chance to compete each and every year. But football games are won on Saturday, not with reputation. So,
Coach, they got a decent threat on special teams with Kevin Fogg, turned 3 touchdowns. How do you prepare for that attack that they have?
Well, I think probably similar how they prepare for Brock. I mean, you can initially say you want to keep the ball out of that person's hands, but if you do that, you give them field position. Their offense is obviously explosive, and if all of a sudden we're popping the ball or squibbing the ball and they're catching another 38, 40-yard line, We're going to put our defense in a situation, and we're going to put our team in a situation of a field position battle. So, what we've got to do is train our special teams, our kickoff team specifically, to understand their scheme, no different than defense understanding an offensive scheme, and beat their scheme, kick the ball to him if that's who's going to get it, and make plays on him. We last year gave them field position too many times in those situations when we scored. So, philosophically, we're going to go after him, and if he's better than our coverage team, then that's so be it. But we have our best players on our coverage teams. We've had them on for a few weeks. These two guys, Al, they'll all be on there.
Now, that's pretty unusual to put 1,000-yard running backs on kickoff coverage.
He had 4 tackles last week. They've been on it in every key game and every key situation. After our non-league schedule, I believe we did that last year also. Philosophically, and it's not a knock of other players, it's just, when you're going to put your best athletes on the field to combat their best athletes. And I think if you look at our kickoff coverage team over the last 6 games, you'll see the difference between game 1 through 4 and game 5 through 10, and that's a philosophical thing. I wasn't going to use them in the non-league games in that situation, but I believe you two and Javon Cruz run down on kickoff, so we got 3 offensive guys going down, and they've made a lot of tackles for us, so hopefully, and that allows Al, who plays every snap at cornerback. See, these guys get a chance to split time on offense. He has to play every snap, so it gives him a little bit of rest.
Chuck, could you have ever envisioned that the Big South would have become such a great match for Stony Brook? You're something like 17, 18, and 4 against them. It really was trying to find a home where you could, eventually get to the bid, and it's kind of worked out perfectly if you could only, win these last games of the season. Did you think it was going to be this great of a fit?
Well, I know this, just before we got into it, Liberty was a 1-10 team, so I'm sure we didn't realize it because they're obviously real good right now. I think Coach Rocco came in the year before I did and turned that place around pretty quickly. But, I'd be fibbing to tell you that the crystal ball was there and we knew exactly what happened. But I think when it was Jim, Paul, and Dan Malucci and I sat in a conference room in the football area and discussed leaving the Northeast Conference and discuss being an at-large team and discuss what the future would be. I think we were looking for this type of situation and hoping that a league would pick us up and a league that we felt at the time we would be competitive with. You got to remember the first 2 years we competed in the Big South, we were not at full scholarships. We were working our way to full scholarships. The last 2 years we've been at the full scholarship level. But so I think it was a good fit. And a lot of programs in that league were newer in football from a standpoint of length of time and tradition. So I guess when they came to us, and I believe they came to us, right? They came to us and asked us if we would entertain it, and then we both studied each other. I think at that point we thought it would be a great fit without looking at the cost that it would cost us to fly down to those games. We thought it would be a great fit.
But the geographical misfit is what everybody's doing now, so you guys were in on that early.
Well, I know. I think that was a big thing we talked about at the time. If you're going to be good and be competitive, you got to sell recruiting. How do you sell recruiting better? The Big South, the people in California, they think we're playing against LSU and things like that, and that's a true statement. That name itself, just Southern football, and not a knock against all the New York and Jersey guys sitting next to me, but you say Southern football, you get impressed. And so I think it's an interesting statement you make, and being associated with them, and I think we add a lot to their conference also by being a big market team.
The other question is, I know you guys have heard enough about last year's game with them, but having said that, when we spoke the other day, we talked about how convoluted a situation that was. Multiple ties, X number of points. Can you talk about how this obviously is a much clearer path? This is just win the game.
Yeah, last year was certainly, I don't think I handled it correctly to the team. I said to the team right after the Gardner-Webb game in the end zone, I said, I won't use the words I said, but I said I didn't correctly tell you how important this game was. And I tried to play maybe the soft side of it, 3-away tie, point thing, all the things you just said, Steve. So Where this game is different, about 7 weeks ago when we were 0-3, I took the captains in before the game. I said, is this team tough enough for me to start at 7 today and start clicking it down? And, Mike was there, Joe was there, Brock was there, and Ryan Haber was there. And they looked at me and said, yes. So I went out and I said, what do you see? I said, I see 7, and let's start at 7. So this is the 7th one. And these guys will remember that. So I think it's clearly defined for us 7 weeks ago. We got lucky, maybe. We're skilled enough, maybe. We worked hard enough, maybe, to put ourselves there. So now it's the opportunity we wanted, and the better team will win on Saturday. And so we'll see where that goes.
For Roosevelt and LMG, last week obviously was a tremendous game on both sides of the ball. I mean, 6 turnovers. Can you give me an idea of how this defense has evolved through this 7-game winning streak, and was last week kind of your best showing?
Well, we get hungrier and hungrier every week. We have just a wild defensive coordinator, man, who just on us every week, man. And we challenge each other in practice to get better, and that's the important part to us. We want to get better every week. When we look at those stats, we want our stats to be better than the worst, every week. And most importantly is respect. We want teams to look at that film and say, wow, these people play crazy. That's wild defense. So I think that's just the biggest thing, man. We've all brought into the defense and his plan, and we're playing great right now.
I believe that coach and advisor brings a fierceness to our defense. He always speaks on everybody exploding on defense. He wants explosive plays. He wants turnovers. He wants pressure on the quarterback. He wants picks. He wants big hits. And I think our scout team has helped us throughout the weeks. I think we've gained in toughness every week that we've gone out and played. Having to keep up with our explosive offense. We want to be able to stop other offenses, to make sure that we solidify ourselves as a team, like as a whole. So just buying into coach and advisor schemes, I believe that we become an overall better defense.
And for the 2 running backs and the quarterback, if I could get your thoughts on, 72 points last week, is it 6 weeks in a row with at least 42, I believe? You're obviously rolling at an incredible clip. Has it gotten to the point where you expect that kind of performance every week?
Yeah, I think it's just flowing now. The way Kyle's playing, the way the line's playing, the way me and Miguel have been playing. It's just natural. And it feels good when we're out there, and it just clicks.
Yeah, and our defense definitely puts us in great position for us to show our explosive offense, because they've been having a great couple of weeks now. Our defense has been playing very well, and big ups to them. They came out every single game and helped us stay in a lot of games where our offense started off slow. So that's thanks to them, and hopefully you guys can bring it to the table on Saturday.
Do you guys still feel like on a psychological upswing as you head towards this? The season has only been getting, you guys felt it's been continuously improving?
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be our biggest game by far, because it will basically tell who wins it all at the end of the day. So, we're going to bring our A game, and we're excited to play. I know we're excited to play because we know what's at stake right now. We've been preaching it for the last 6 weeks or whatever, and now it's finally here, and we're excited to play, and we're going to bring it.
It's going to be wild.
2 more questions. And for Kyle, so many of these games, like Miguel said, the offense has started slow and patient, and then it seems like adjustments are made at halftime, and you guys come out like gangbusters in the 3rd quarter. Can you kind of explain what's happening there at halftime?
Yeah, you said it. Coach Priore and Coach Behrman make great halftime adjustments, and Coach Woods really helps out the line, and I think we're really able to execute, the game plan and follow up with all the adjustments we make at halftime. I think, a big thing is obviously getting the ball in the playmakers' hands, like Brock and Miguel, but I think the line's been doing a great job, and like Coach Priore said before, the game will be won at the line of scrimmage, and I think they're going to do a great job this Saturday.
And also just in terms of your development as a quarterback and, bringing the passing dimension that you have, how do you evaluate your progress so far?
I think it's been good, and I have so much faith in the wide receivers. They work so hard during practice, and I think that consistency that we make, from Monday through Friday is really showing up on Saturday. I think we've all been getting on the same page now, and we're really clicking. And I can't have enough confidence in those guys. They're the ones that make the plays, and I think our passing game's going to have a huge impact on the game this Saturday.
What kind of weather are you looking for?
Beautiful. Looking for some bright, sunny weather.
California weather.
California weather would be great.
One more question.
Chuck, what does this game mean to this program, the larger picture?
It will probably define us 10 years from now, 5 years from now, because I think, the recruits that will be yielded off the potential of this win and the opportunity to go to the NCAAs may not be a factor in 2012 season, 2013 season, but I think it's recruiting. When I look at it from the business perspective, it's recruiting. Probably secondly will be support of our alumni. They think we're on the table. It's a lot easier to ask when there's success, and success, unfortunately, as you and I talked about 6 years ago, is not scoreboard, but winning is important. And you made sure I heard that too 6 years ago. So, I think the combination of both, the recruiting and the ability to get the support from our alumni, because I think you have to, if you're going to want it, you have to show that you're there. And I think we've arrived, and hopefully we'll put the exclamation point on it on Saturday.
Go ahead.
I have one more. For Roosevelt and anybody else who wants to chime in, can you guys talk about what the reception has been like on campus? Do you think that people sense, your fellow students, that how big this game is?
I believe since the beginning of the season, with our close loss to UTEP in Texas, and then us being able to compete with Buffalo, and then the support we received from the students and all the people around Long Island to come out and help us sell out for our homecoming game against Lafayette to start the winning streak, I believe that people have taken a liking to us thus far with the winning streak, and you can see the excitement around campus and classes, going to lunch and everything. People are excited about it and ready to come out and support.
Anybody else?
I got to go to meetings.
Thank you.